up a stand, but I can't get there. I've got 2 doe there in this field, just kind of browsing. I'm just gonna kind of wait for them to clear out. Then I'll head to my stand. There's a lot of clover in that field over there. A lot of it's kind of browned up and dried up, but I still think they're eating on it. Lots of acorn drop this year. A ton of acorns on the ground, even with the dry weather. So it kind of surprises me because I really thought deer would be sticking hardcore to the woods for feeding, but it just goes to show you they do like variety. When there's available, crop for whatever it is, whether there's a bunch of acorns, they'll definitely hit it hard, but I really think they crave like variety, like anything else would, You give an animal, or especially a person, something for a long period of time, and they get kind of bored of it after a while. It just goes to show you, you can't just completely block out any other, idea about deer, I think you gotta hit the woods during early fall. But this right here is showing me that, these deer, they like that variety. They like to graze. They like to try different stuff in their diet. So, noted. I'm gonna try to sneak around and get down to the tree I have picked out and get my stand put up and hope something else keeps passing through. Couldn't tell what it is, but that evergreen patch right there. You hear that blowing? Something passed by there about 10 minutes ago, and they must have caught my scent because they weren't looking over here close, and I haven't moved, but they're blowing at me, so they must have my scent. Which is crazy because it's the opposite way that I walked in. And the wind is almost at a complete standstill. I have a little bit of thermals that are going back straight behind me. But it's, almost 180 degrees from where that deer is. But they have just a phenomenal sense of smell, so obviously she picked up something. Hopefully she don't stand there and blow for 20 minutes and just goes on her way and lets me hunt, but you gotta love those old mature does. When these squirrels start barking, I can't ever help but think that there's something moving and something's got them spooked. And just a few moments ago, one started really going crazy, just barking like crazy. And I didn't think a whole lot of it, but that doe I seen, basically just her body moving through the wood line. It's something to pay attention to. I don't know if it's 100% accurate. It's definitely not 100% accurate because It seems like squirrels bark at each other, they bark at you, but if you hear a squirrel barking as it moves through, it's kind of interesting to see how the creatures in the woods, kind of interact with each other. It's been an absolute beautiful morning. It was not freezing cold, but very chilly this morning, but absolutely no wind whatsoever. It was so calm. Kind of cool to watch, and listen as the woods come alive with sounds, different birds and stuff. So, real early this morning when I was coming to my stand, of course I seen those two deer crossing over in the field. So the thing about these last couple of years is I can't ever really get into the woods when it's still completely dark. The daylight's coming up is about the time that I'm walking through the woods trying to get to my stand or hang my stand, because I have to put my kids on the bus every morning during the weekdays, and then during the weekends taking a kid hunting. I always have a kid hunting with me on the weekends. At least one of them wants to go with me, so I usually am running behind, although I do have a lot better chance of making it out into the woods during the weekends. I'm not sure what I caught on film. We definitely have an arrow stick. Looked like she was quartering away more than I thought she was. And I may have hit too far forward. I'm hoping that I got some heart, some lungs. I'm afraid it might be more shoulder than what I wanted. I wish it would have hit a little further back. But the arrow is definitely stuck in her. I seen her run about 30 yards, and the arrow was in her the whole time, which is good, because as she's running, that broadhead is working around, causing more blood, for her to lose more blood. I was honestly making my exit video, and then I heard something to my left and thought, that's an awful big squirrel to make that much noise. And it was a nice, healthy, mature doe. So I thought, since I'm about to leave anyway, could use some meat in the freezer. And already went through the work of setting up the stand and whatnot, so hey, might as well take the shot. And I hope I don't have to track her far. And hopefully we made a good shot today. I know a lot of people start celebrating when they see the arrow fly and hit the target, but it doesn't matter where I think I hit. I always get nervous because there's so many what ifs, and I hate losing deer. I hate it. So I'm just really hoping that we made a good shot, retrieve that deer. We don't have to walk or search too long. I'll give her a good while. It's plenty cold. There's no reason to rush. I got plenty of time. So I just took a look at the film, and I got her butt in frame, but of course she walked out of frame. Classic. If I'm not known for anything else, it's to videotape absolutely nothing while I make the shot off of frame. But that's how it goes when you're self-filming. I mean, you have to make the decision. Are you going to... I mean, I was already drawn back and she stepped out of frame, and I wasn't really 100% sure if she was in frame, out of frame. I didn't know. So that's when you kind of have to make a decision. Are you gonna release and come back out of full draw, move your camera, then try to get back into full draw? Or are you just gonna try to concentrate on the shot, making the best shot that you can? And I typically always concentrate on the shot because, well, I like to hunt, and I also like to be successful. And sometimes the camera just kind of gets forgotten about. That's how it goes. That's why I like to do it, though. It's challenging, even more so than just hunting. So it's frustrating I missed a shot, but at least I got video of the deer, and hopefully we have a successful retrieve. It's been about 30 minutes though, and I'm gonna get down from here and I'm gonna kind of circle around. Still getting pretty consistent good blood. Well, the blood almost dropped off to where it could just basically going from one drop to the next. But now it's a pretty steady stream. I half expected the arrow to be out on the ground, but it's not, so I'm assuming it's still stuck in her. So I'm just gonna keep kind of following along. I was so relieved to get out of that field. Maybe 80 yards of field. It was like you find a spot of blood, you sit there, you study 3 or 4 minutes to find the next spot. It was like you can't just walk up above and look down and see it. You have to almost get down at an angle, kind of look through the grass from the last spot, make your angle to find the next blade of grass, because if you go past it and you look back, you don't see it. So it's just very, 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 very frustrating. But now that we're in the woods, I'm seeing a steady trail and my confidence is going way up, because when you only see little drops, I get nervous. see a lot more blood in the woods, but I still don't see a body, so I'll carry on. This blood hits this dirt and it dries up. It just kind of soaks into that dirt. It's almost impossible to see. You have to find a twig or a leaf or something that the blood's dribbled on. It makes it really challenging. As you can see behind me, I'm in an insanely thick grove of cedars. I've been on my hands and knees and sometimes belly for about 20 minutes crawling. I lost blood about 15 minutes ago. Just got less and less, just tiny little drops. On my hands and knees just looking for the next drop. I hate this, but I am confident that this deer is still alive. I believe it stopped bleeding. I didn't do it any good, but I believe that it's gonna live through this. For the record, I'm not cool with this. I'm not relieved. Unfortunately, you can't really write the scripts and stuff like this. You can't write a good ending. It's just how it is. And I'm not cool about it. I'm not happy about it. But I know that I did everything that I could to retrieve it. But that deer I strongly believe is not dead. That deer I believe is going to live. And although it's not ideal, at least it's gonna survive to, live another day. Possibly with one of my arrows either inside it or a significant wound anyway in his shoulders. It's times like these you can just beat yourself up, which is inevitable. I mean, everyone's gonna do it. But it sort of wakes you up, no matter how confident you are. Sometimes if something like this happens, you can either hate yourself or you can try to learn from it, try to do better. Honestly, I don't want to put this up because I'm ashamed of it. I could have made a better shot. I could have taken a couple more breaths. I can sit here and talk about what I could have done or what I should have done. I was confident before the arrow flew. I thought I was gonna have a deer today, some more meat for the freezer, but I don't. You just take this, go practice, build your setup better, do whatever you gotta do, try to do better.